There we go. What's up? Can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we good.
Yay!
Man, my shit was being so whack, y'all.
It happens. My printer just like died on me last week, which was unfortunate because I had to like figure out another way to print and hot mess.
Yeah, I ain't like that too much because I recorded like 20 minutes before you came in. And now I feel like it didn't record any of that. So yeah, it sucks. So I appreciate you for joining me and for being patient.
Oh, listen. It happens. It's life, man. I am the definition of Murphy's Law. Anything that could and go wrong will go wrong. It happens to me all the time. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So today on Piff Radio, we have Crystal Morel, right?
Yeah, you said it right.
The owner of Checkmate Sweets. How you doing?
Good. I'm tired right now, but I'm good.
Yeah. Still working?
Still working.
All right, so tell me about yourself.
Where do I start? You want to talk about me or we talk about my business?
Talk about Crystal first. Where you from?
So I'm originally from Long Island, born and raised. So when I talk about I'm from New York, they don't think Long Island. They think I'm from the city. But no, I'm from Long Island. I didn't leave Long Island until I was about 23. So about 10 years ago, I moved to not to the city, to Queens. And then, I'm heavily in retail, restaurant, the music industry. I was a party promoter, singer, actress, model. I tried it all. I little bit of everything, it's best to know a little bit about everything than just knowing all of like one thing. So that way I always have something for conversation. I can always give my 2 cents in somewhere. I can always speak on different things. So, I like being knowledgeable.
No, and what led
experience
what led to you starting Checkmate Sweets?
So I started my business when I was in a homeless shelter. I was in an abusive relationship. So I left my relationship and I ended up going into they call it a battered woman shelter, which is so tacky. I went into a domestic abuse shelter. So I didn't know what to do, how I was going to make money, but I knew I wasn't going to let anyone else have authority over me. So I wasn't going to go work a job. I wasn't going to go work for somebody. I wasn't going to let anybody tell me what to do, when to do it, how to do it. Nah, me taking commands from anyone was a done deal when I left. So the name of my business, so like when I was a party promoter, my name was Queen Stack. So I kept on the name Queen. So I figure out a way I can encompass my name, my persona into my business. So even along with my story of how I started my business in the shelter. So the game of chess, you're supposed to anticipate your opponent's next move. So my abuser, he'd anticipated. So checkmate.
I like that. So within your business, what all do you do?
So when I started my business, I just started out making truffles. So your traditional truffle is usually solid chocolate. Sometimes I add nuts to it, or like the Rice Krispie, or they'll do like different flavors. But with mine are actually desserts. Don't get me wrong, I do have a few in my menu that are actual regular, your traditional truffle, but mine are desserts. So I take your favorite dessert, I make it, and then I break it down and deconstruct it and then put it back together. And I roll it in a bowl. All my truffles are hand rolled. So I literally do everything by hand, even from deconstructing to reconstructing and put it back together. I literally roll everything in my hands. And then I dip it in some chocolate, and then I sprinkle whatever I want to put on it. Like if it's red velvet, it's just like a cookie crumb, or if it's turtle, it's pecans, and I'll take some chocolate or some color melt, and make it look nice and pretty, dress it up. Because I like all things pretty. And when it comes to food, especially desserts, like from working in a restaurant, so I used to work at TJ Fridays. So when they would do the 3-course, since it would be so big that everyone wanted to do it, my sole job was just to do desserts. Was just plain desserts, garnishing and making it look pretty. So I realized when you walk past a table with something beautiful in your hand, everyone's like, "Oh, what's that? I want one of those." So everyone eats with their eyes. So I make my desserts look beautiful, look like they're like my little masterpieces, little works of art, because it's literally a masterpiece because I do everything from start to finish, basically by hand, and it's every individual piece. So, I pay close attention to detail and stuff like that. So that's truffles. And then with lockdown happening, I wasn't getting too many orders, especially with like the truffles. So I'm like, all right, bet it's 420. What else can I do? And my friend, her mom was, ordering brownies from me, but it wasn't like something that I was like, saying that I was selling, because I really wasn't up to baking like crazy. Yeah. So her mom was always on. I'm like, you know what? Let me see how people would take on to this. So I just announced it on my Facebook. Hey guys, I'm doing brownies now. Orders started coming flying in. So once after lockdown, I got my first vendor things to do vendor, and I'm like, okay, I can't just go doing vendoring now because I don't have truffles. So I'm not just gonna go with just brownies, because with the truffles, with COVID, with their certain restrictions on things that can be out and open. So like my truffles, I usually have them really nice on a stand, but they're open. They're not wrapped up with that, because it's tiresome to try to individually wrap them. So that's why those are just strictly made for order. So I'm like, okay, what else can I do that's easy, that's quick? So I'm like, cookies. I'll do some cookies. So then I started, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do cookies for this event. But I'm like, I can't just do just cookies and brownies. So I just had like one main side of brownies. So I had ordered a mold off of Amazon, me thinking it was the right size that I wanted to order. Nope, pan was the wrong size. I ordered 2 pans and they were both the wrong size. So I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do with these now? So one pan was a small, and it had like, it was like little mini cupcake things. So I'm like, you know what? I'll do bite-sized brownies. So then that birthed bite-sized brownies. And then I ordered a mold thinking it was the normal size for my regular standard size brownies. And it was like half the size. So I'm like, oh, great. So now I'm going to make those mini brownies. So now I have 3 sizes of brownies. So I rolled it out at an event and they took off. Like this girl just came straight to the table and she was like, oh, what's this? I'm like, oh, these are brownie brownies. She was like, right, I'll take 4.
Dang.
So, oh.
Them brownies be smashing though.
The brownies, the cookies. So then, I just had like basically like maybe one. I had like 1 or 2 different flavors, only 1 different flavor of cookies. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do more. If I can make one batch, I can make sky's the limit. I can do whatever flavors I want to roll out. So I realized those took on. So more and more as I notice a trend and certain things take off, I'm like, so I don't like being your basic edible maker. Like, so, my truffles, that's something different. So that's beautiful. That's something else. So I'm like, okay, well, I need something else that I can make that's beautiful, because I can't really beautify a cookie. I can't really beautify, a brownie, because I like to stay traditional home bake. I don't do the fancy fondant cookies, and I don't have time for that. Mm-hmm. I just don't. Me personally, like, I'm not people who do that. Like that's great. Not saying I'm not talented enough to do that. I can do that. I just don't like working with it. So I do my regular basic homemade cookies, regular basic homemade brownies. So I'm like, what else can I add to make a splash, something different? So I'm like, you know what? Oreos. Chocolate covered Oreos. You only get them at like baby showers or weddings. So what if you could get a chocolate covered Oreo anytime you want it? And wouldn't it be even better if it was an edible?
You're right. Too bad. Too bad. Too bad I don't eat chocolate, but it sounds good.
But here's but that's the thing. You don't have to eat chocolate. I've come to understanding that a lot of people don't eat chocolate. Weird, but it's whatever. I ain't hating on y'all. But so I offer other products that are not chocolate, because white chocolate is not actually chocolate. So I have my white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. I have oatmeal raisin cookies, and I just started blondies. So a blondie is a brownie without the chocolate. So my first flavor that I rolled out for my blondies is a snickerdoodle, and they're actually really good. Like, I mean, I'm not just saying because I bake them, because I don't eat any of the stuff.
Yeah.
But to some people, it's like, oh my God, that's so weird. No, it's not really weird. Like, when you're a baker and you literally do this every single day, you don't want to eat the stuff that you make.
So you don't taste?
I mean, I taste them because I have to taste it, but
you don't.
it's like, to eat one, I gotta really, 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 really want to eat one, because otherwise I won't. Even the non-infused one, like, I'll randomly be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go get me a cookie. But other than that, I just don't.
So how many milligrams do you be putting? Like, do we like 500, 600? What do it be?
Oh no, I don't get that crazy. I don't try to kill people or make them hallucinate. I make them just go a little over enough to be like, you know what? I want to try that again. So my cookies are 65 milligrams. This is a white chocolate macadamia nut cookie. So my cookies are 65 milligrams. My brownie bites, these are my bite-sized ones. These are also 65 milligrams. My mini brownies and blondies now are 100 milligrams. My full-size brownies are 150 milligrams.
Let me see that logo. Let me see that logo on the back. There you go. All right.
Oh yeah, I make sure everything is branded. Okay, I stay branded. I got a little bit of something out here. Let me see if I can open this bag again. My truffles. The truffle. This is actually red velvet. Truffles are about, I want to say, like 70, 75 milligrams. And then my Oreos.
You want to know something weird? Since you said people who don't eat chocolate is weird. I eat Oreos, but I don't eat chocolate.
Oh, you got mega stuff ones? Ugh.
I'm the only ones I can eat.
Straight sugar. Oh, that makes my teeth hurt just thinking about. And so this is a strawberry cheesecake, chocolate covered edible Oreo. This is, I want to say, about 175 milligrams. So the reason why it is that high, so this is let me back this up. This is a strawberry cheesecake stuffed chocolate covered Oreo. So what I do is I take the same batter as I do for my truffles. So that is infused as well. And I take that, I scrape out an Oreo, and then I put whatever it is. So this is a strawberry cheesecake. I put the strawberry cheesecake in it, and then I put it in the chocolate. Now the chocolate itself is infused as well. So that's what takes you over.
Is that your highest one?
Yeah. And I say that because with chocolate, what people don't know, chocolate actually increases your high.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it does. It's certain something within that plant, because you know how chocolate is already addictive to people, and of your emotions. So, if you high and you got some chocolate in your system, it's gonna increase your high a little bit. So yeah, but I have stuff.
I think that's the reason why I eat Oreos.
Yeah, but that's not like real chocolate though. I'm sorry.
That's the only chocolate I eat, but I only eat it when I'm high though.
You know what's funny? Oreos, sometimes I don't like the cream, so I scrape the cream out. And so I'm backwards. My She won't eat the cookie part, but she'll eat the
So y'all basically eating thins.
yeah.
That's I
I mean,
understand.
I don't mind the thins either. Like, I like the thins. Like, those are like, that's probably something that I can say, like, oh yeah, if I'm gonna go snack on some Oreos, I'm gonna go eat some Oreo thins because it's a waste of time for me to scrape the cream out, just eat the cookie. So the thins, they got my money on that one.
Yeah. So you got drinks and stuff too?
I have not exactly. So I have what I just rolled out is a versatile herbal blends line. Versatile meaning you can roll it up, pack it in a bowl, pack it in your bong, pack it in your little one hitter pipe, and you can smoke it, or you can steep it and drink it like a tea. But you still have to prepare it like you would prepare an actual tea. So some of my blends, not gonna lie, a little harsh on the palate for me. So I say, make it like a tea. So might want to add some ginger, some lemon, maybe absolutely honey. I don't agree with adding sugar to your tea. Honey, or maybe even some agave. And yeah, or even some cinnamon to just cut the harshness a little bit.
Okay.
But
So you got
it's like a infuser. So you'd have to get an infuser because they come loose, like a tea.
Oh, okay. And you said you can smoke it too, right?
You sure can. So with the good thing is you can actually smoke this on its own and you will still get the same health benefits and you'll still get high. So there's over 1,500 other herbs that you can smoke other than cannabis. And every single herb has different health benefits. Like you can literally go walk down your grocery store, go to the grocery store. There's things you can pick up off the shelf that have health benefits that you can smoke, that you can steep and drink like a tea. Like they sell chamomile loose. You can smoke chamomile. Before I even started messing around with different herbs and experimenting with things, I would always add some chamomile because I suffer from insomnia. So if you have a hard time with sleeping, I'd roll up, sprinkle some chamomile, mix it in, and it'll be good. Or even add in some lavender, and it helps put you to sleep.
Hey, adjust your camera a little bit because your service keep going in and out. Yeah, so you stuck right now. You there? I ain't going nowhere. We got Checkmate Sweets live on Piff Radio.
What is on Piff Radio?
She's just getting her service right a little bit, so while she get that right, we just go.
All right. I have to turn my Wi-Fi off, I guess. It be tripping sometimes.
Hey, I don't know what my shit was doing earlier. When I restarted it, it just started cleaning up for some reason and never cut back on. So my daughter got mad at me too because she was watching her tablet about to go to sleep. And I was like, I gotta use it. She was like, you gonna give it back? And I was like,
yeah, like, come on, Dad. Really? You take a tablet for me?
Messing up our whole flow, but it's all good. So
sleep so I can get some work done in peace and quiet.
Right. I hope they sleep too. So tell me about your experience. How has your business picked up and since you've been on Clubhouse?
To be honest, it's not really much of a difference. I think I maybe get maybe the max I'll get 2 people really interested a week. Maybe. I mean, it's starting to, I guess, pick up a little bit more because people are actually like really paying attention when I start pitching more in rooms. And like, so like I hop around different rooms. So I usually stay in like the Black cannabis rooms, or I just found a woman Black chef room, which is filling nothing but Black women chefs or cannabis chefs. So I like to keep it together with what my business is going at. So I don't get too distracted or get too pulled away from what my passion is, what my mission is, and things like that. So I like to stay in rooms where I can get educated at and things like that. Because it's not always what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly. So tell me about some events you got coming up. I see you going on tour and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, every weekend it do be feeling like that though. Every weekend I'm somewhere. Every weekend I try to be somewhere, because majority of my business, and especially since lockdown, has been in shipping. So no one really locally knows who I am unless you come out to my events, unless you see me out. So I try to keep an event every week. So that way that keeps me productive throughout my week. So I know, okay, all right, let's say my event is on Saturday. Okay, so I can start prepping. I'll start prepping Wednesday, and I'll do all my baking on Thursday. And then Friday, I can do everything that has to do with chocolate, because I have to keep my space in my apartment at a certain temperature while I'm working with chocolate. So it has to be cold. So I can't be baking and doing chocolate at the same time, because then it'll just get fast. And chocolate also takes on flavors and scents as everything else in the room. So I'll always have to keep in mind, especially when I have clients who have allergies to certain things, I have to make sure that my space is A1. Because the last thing I need.
Right. So I want to go back a little bit to something personal that you mentioned earlier. What kind of advice could you give a young female or older female who's in a domestic violence relationship or abusive relationship, whether it's mental?
Don't ignore the red signs. Don't ignore the red flags. If you feel something ain't right, if it's not clicking, it's not clicking. It's not right. Something is off. And what people don't understand when it comes down to domestic abuse, because I hate the word violence, because abuse isn't always violent. There's different types of domestic abuse. There's financial abuse, there's emotional abuse, there's mental abuse, there's also sexual abuse, and of course, physical abuse. And with my specific situation, it was more emotional than it was physical. It did get physical at times, not gonna lie, it did, but it was more emotional. I'm an empath, and he's a clearly psychotic narcissist. I mean, his therapist even said the same thing, so it's not like I'm just pulling stuff out of thin air. He's a narcissist. So the relationship between an empath and a narcissist is fatal attraction. Because me being an empath, I have the need and that want to always help. But narcissists only help themselves. So me trying to help him, he wasn't trying to help me. He was just trying to help himself. But me being the person that I am, and not only just being an empath, like I'm just a very caring, loving person. That's just who I am, who I've always been. It'll never change. But it was just like, the more I tried, the more hurt I got, the more harm was done to me. So get out before, it's too late. And I mean, leaving isn't easy. It's in a lot of situations, it's not always safe. So I hate when people say, oh, well, I would have left sooner, or why don't you just leave? It's not always that easy, especially when there are children involved. So I did have a child by him. So that becomes another risk. So it's like, okay, if I leave with my kid, he's definitely going to come after me because so you always have to keep in mind of other people You know, your life has to matter more than what you're going through. So it pretty much got to a point where it was either me or him, and it wasn't going to be me.
Yeah.
Was not. I was not going to leave my child in this world without her mother. Wasn't going to happen. So I literally woke up one morning and was like, I'm ready to go. It must have been, so I remember exactly what happened. He was out late, like normally, was supposed to get off work at 2:00. He literally worked 5 minutes from where we lived. So, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my coworkers. Cool, great. Because it got to a point where if he wasn't home, I was happy. One, I was safe, I was stress-free, I had to deal with nothing, just me and my baby. We cool. We got our own little rhythm, what we doing. You not here, great, because that means you don't got to intervene in any of my processes or none of that. You don't got to ask me to cook for you. You don't have to do nothing. You don't want to be home, great. I don't want you here anyway. So 3:00 rolls around, still not home yet. 3:30, still not home yet. 4:00 rolls around. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sleep. Went to sleep, woke up. I think I took a nap. So I woke up at like, it was 6:23. And I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to go. So I text my best friend and I'm like, I need a plan. You're the only person who actually knows the situation that I'm in. So I'm letting you know right now, I'm leaving. I'm coming back to the Bronx. So next morning, I went to sleep, woke up. He came home. I made him breakfast, everything real nice and sweet. Left it on because I already had my plan to leave. I was like, okay, I don't know exactly I didn't have a date set yet, but I know that I was not going to be there that much longer.
Mm-hmm.
So making a plan, started stashing money here and there. So like I wasn't working because I just had my baby. I was high risk. So, and then I ended up having back issues. So I couldn't return back to work. So it was a high. So I waited till he went to work. I called my father. My father lives in South Carolina. And I'm like, hey, are you still coming up here for Labor Day weekend? Because he's supposed to be going to visit my aunt who lived in Manhattan. And I'm like, hey, if I throw you some extra money, can you come to Buffalo? Can you come get me? So he came.
Uh-oh.
Home. We went to work and he left. Now he was so wrapped up in his world and doing around him. Like I sat on our living room floor and I went through I got so much stuff for my daughter. So I literally sat on the living room floor. I had a whole bunch of bins and I literally arranged all of her clothing by size, by season, everything. Went to his mother's house where we had some of our stuff at his mother's house, packed stuff up from his mother's house. He had no idea. So he knew I was leaving. It was about, I want to say, a week and a half before my leaving date. And that's when shit really hit the fan. And it got to a point where he had to call the cops on me because I was not letting him in the house. We had gotten into a fight at his mother's house, and I went home and I refused to open the door for him.
What
I'm talking.
did being in that situation make it harder with the lupus?
Oh, eat it. Huh?
Being in that situation, did it make it harder also dealing with lupus?
So that definitely put a strain. And the crazy thing was that I was diagnosed during my pregnancy. So I really didn't have a grasp on my triggers. So, definitely. So me being, exhausted and having fatigue from being pregnant, and then to add on my flare-ups from lupus, so that's my migraines, chills, fevers, neuropathy, like pain, like it just added it. So, and it was like, I can't keep doing this. I can't I can't give my child the mother that she deserves. One, while I'm in this super toxic, non-conducive environment, unsafe environment, dysfunctional environment. I can't give her my all here too. And then on top of that, my health as well. So it's like something got to give. And I can't get the help that I here. And I'm already doing everything on my own anyway. So why don't I just leave? If I'm already handling not only my newborn, I'm still grieving also loss of my son, who I lost my son Nikolai on Christmas Day 2014. So not only am I still grieving the loss of my child, now I have a newborn, and then I'm taking care of his children on top of that. So it's just all of this stuff at once, and it's like, nothing is working for me. So I'm just gonna go and figure this out on my own. And I did that. So I implore women to do that. Like, you have to think of something outside of yourself. You know, that is the time that you should be selfish. Think of yourself, and especially if you have children, because what kind of world would it be like for your children without their mother? You know, right. Or even father, because I know of men who've been in abusive relationships as well too. And that's another, it's a stigma, because, you know, what man wants to say that he's getting beat on by a woman? Yeah. Or that his woman made him feel a certain way, or she's holding back the money from him. Like, it'll make you feel less of a man. But in the time that, you know, I speak out at events, so I can come speak and share my story and things like that. And I've had men come to me like, oh man, like, you know, you made me feel so good. Like, I remember speaking at one event, and the gentleman, like, we had opened the floor. So, you know, if anyone has something to say and like that, and the guy came up to me and he's like, you know, I really want to talk about it, because, you know, I've been there, but, you know, I'm afraid to speak about it. I'm like, no, this is a safe place. You know, this is where you should say that, should let it be known that, you know, not only are you a man, but you're also a Black man who's been in this situation. So speak about it, because I learned that the more I talk about what I've been through, the more I speak about it, the easier it gets to talk about it. Because I mean, I remember the first time I went and was asked to speak about it, I could barely get through it. You know, I got choked up. Triggers started coming and getting the flashbacks. But now it's empowering. So when I share my story, you know, it's empowering, and I make sure that, you know, I make sure people feel empowered, because when you're in an abusive relationship, especially one that's, you know, mentally and emotionally, that strips away your power. So, because it makes you literally reevaluate everything in your life. It makes you you have to learn how to trust yourself all over again. So on this journey that I have taken through along with my business, it has helped me to ease up more, you know, talking about it more, because that is the story behind my business. It's empowering, because it's like, you know, I came from this super dark situation and I turned it into the most beautiful thing ever. And I'm still expanding on it, and I'm still getting it, and I'm still raising my vibrations higher, and I'm getting higher and higher, and I'm freeing myself. And this freedom that you have once you can finally cut that cord, cut that tie, and finally pull away from the thing that's been holding you down for so long, it just feels so good. And if I can share that with anyone else, if I can let you know how much joy it is in taking back your power, like, man, it's the most beautiful thing. And like, I've helped, I want to say maybe about 15 women to this day leave their abusers, like leave their abusers, start better life, start off fresh. I love what I do. And with me bringing a search of, you know, this, my life's purpose. Like, when I can say, you know, I found my purpose. And it took me to have to go through something super dark and dangerous and uncertain and risky to be able to help other people. And what's crazy is that I want to say maybe about 10 years ago, no, maybe less than that. I was in church and Pastor Jackie, she came down, she prophesizing and telling people and stuff like that. And normally I don't like people to speak over my life, especially when you don't know me like that. I don't know you like that. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm just real particular who's going to speak over my life, who's going to bless me. But she told me, and I'll never forget it, you're going to go through some things that is going to pave the way for other women. You're going to go through some really trying times that's going to help you help other people. And once I started my business, and then once I started speaking more, I realized that is my purpose. Because no matter where I'm at, I always find someone who needs help. Because I'm also a reader, I'm also a light worker, so I can feed off of that energy. I can feel it. So if I can bring that all together with my business, it's a beautiful thing.
So tell me what rooms you host on Clubhouse and what time?
So you can catch me every morning from the hours of 8 and 1. I am a co-host with Talks with Chris. And then Monday nights, I'm also another co-host with Talks with Chris. We do intimate, small, serious talks. So with Talks with Chris in the morning between 8 and 1, that's our engagement groups. So you come there if you want us to blow up your Instagram, if you want to get your likes up, get your followers up, get people to tap in with you, look at your products, your business. If you make music, if you want attention, you come here. If you want to get exposure to anywhere outside of your city, or even within your city, if you want, because there's so many people who do so many different things who could probably do the same thing as you, and you don't know that. So we give that exposure to people. We help you. We help you help you.
Yeah.
If you understand what. If you understand.
We understand.
So then our Talks with Chris at 8 p.m. on Monday nights is more of our serious talk. So we talk about things like relationships. Last week we were talking about co-parenting. And then I just started my own new club called Vibrate on this week. And I do Women Wednesdays on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. I want to keep it as an open dialogue. It's a safe space for us women to come and, share what we go through. So we do allow men in the room to come in the room, because a lot of times men don't understand what women go through. Because even if you're a single man, you're not in a relationship with a woman. So how you don't know what to expect. You don't know what women are going through. So I like to open up that dialogue because, we are hurt. We are hurting, especially within, the Black community. There was some discord between the generations where everything just changed. Now we're at each other's throat for no reason, because we're not understanding each other. And the reason why we're not understanding each other is because we're not communicating in the right way. So I like to host these rooms where we can break down those walls. Let's talk about it. Let's take the gloves off. Let's stop being angry at each other. Let's sit and listen. Most people, when you're having a conversation, they only listen to respond. No, we need you to listen to understand. So that's why I want to do these type of rooms. And I'm going to switch it up. It's not always going to be the ladies who have the opportunity to share. So that I want our men to come up there and share. I want our men to understand, especially our Black men, because there's such a negative connotation on sharing your feelings, share your emotions. I want to know how y'all feel. I want to know, what pisses you off, what pushes your buttons without me having to find out the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because everything boils down to, communication. If you let me know, okay, things like this get me hot, get me tight, yada, yada, yada. Okay, cool. So now I know that, but let me know beforehand, before it gets to that point where it's past the point where you actually want to talk about it, or you feel the need to explain yourself. So, if we this understanding of each other's needs and really being compassionate and actually caring for each other, we could do wondrous things. So, and I just want to, set that example up for, for our children, because they're watching us. If they see, you are your kids' first teachers. So, if they see always yada, 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 and all of this, they're going to think that's the norm and that's how it should be done. And that's not, that's toxic, that's dysfunctional. And it just creates a cycle that just keeps on going and going and going and going and going. And now it's at the time where, I'm 33 and it's like, enough is enough. Like every single day on Facebook, even now it's like seeping into Clubhouse. And it's just so toxic and it's not conducive to what we're trying to do. We're already at war with, the man.
Everybody.
Say, we're already a target. So why are we making ourselves targets amongst each other? Why are we fighting each other when we're in the same fight together? We need to team up and fight this together instead of fighting each other. Like it's a lot. Like
yeah, it is. So,
but that's what I want to do. I want to open up that dialogue, open up that conversation, rip that Band-Aid off. Let's have these tough conversations. Let's have these hard talks because it's what we need. We need to stop, stepping on eggshells and, being careful what we say. I mean, yes, be careful what you say, but sometimes you just need to know the truth, the harsh truth.
And you also need to let people just speak their piece, to be honest.
Yeah, because there's no greater feeling than being heard and having someone understand and actually listening to understand, listening to comprehend, listening to hear what you're saying. And then once you actually take it past that part of understanding here and actually put some action behind it, it's a beautiful thing.
Right. So where can we find Checkmate Sweets?
I am on pretty much all social media. Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse. I believe I'm on LinkedIn. I started a TikTok, but I don't really use it. I'm on Twitter, but I don't really use my Twitter either. And Snapchat, I think. Yeah.
And Google.
I am, yes. Yeah, you can Google me. My business is Googleable. You gonna Google now?
So you got a website?
So I don't have a website yet, but it's not like a website. So I do have a landing page, well, splash page, what you want to call it. But all of my information is on there. You can see pictures of my work. I do have a merchandising site as well too. So I do have my merchandise. I have fanny packs, phone cases, face masks. I have the gaiters, all of that. T-shirts, coffee mugs, water bottles. I always say branded.
That's good. Shit.
Yeah. You might have in a city near you.
Right. So, and you got a menu. You actually got a menu of your stuff on your Instagram page, right?
Yeah. So I have a menu of my infused treats. I have menu and prices of my non-infused treats, and the menu and all the ingredients and all my different blends as well. And that's all on my Instagram and my Facebook.
So if you watching right now or listening right now, Checkmate Sweets, the best. You see it, Checkmate Sweets. Make sure y'all check that out. Make sure y'all support Black-owned lupus warriors. I love it. Checkmate, I appreciate you. And I thank you for being patient and real dope.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Like I said, I love talking about myself. Not to be like cocky, but I just love sharing my story because you never know who's listening. Like I will get like random messages on Facebook, like, oh man, I read your story. I was reading your post the other day and I see where you started out and I see where you're at now. You're so inspiring. So like, I love it.
You should definitely start a podcast called Checkmate.
You know what's crazy? People tell me so many things. Oh, you should do a podcast, do like a radio show, or you could do like TikToks. It's so exhausting.
It is though. It is, but sometimes you got to get it out, and you just got to find different ways to get it out. And it's refreshing and relieving when you can just get through something that that you've been through, get it out any kind of way that you can. You know what I mean? I'm not a talkative person. I'm an introvert. I don't do no public speaking at all. So me doing this is like me trying to get through my anxiety in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the only way to get through it is by facing it.
Yeah. So, and that's exactly why I do it.
But I mean, I got a smoke blend for you for that. It's called Easy Like a Sunday Morning. This works really good for anxiety.
Is it THC?
If you want it to be THC, I can add that too. I can add it.
Oh yeah. I mean, you send me whatever your Cash App is and send me the price. I'm gonna send that and the address right over. It don't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, man, we didn't get to talk about the blends.
Hey, go ahead real quick.
All right, so there are over 1,500 other herbs you can smoke other than cannabis. So I took about, how many were over there? Like 30-ish. And I have created master blends. So I have blends for all different type of things. So this blend is called PTFO, which stands for Pass the Fuck Out. That is your sleep blend. So that's good for insomnia. I have Beam Me Up Scotty, which this is my astral blend. So if you want to tap into your other energies and you want to tap into other dimensions and astral project, that is a blend for that. Like I was saying, for anxiety is my Easy Like a Sunday Morning blend. This is your calming blend. This is like something that you'd want to take if you had like a rough day, you just want to mellow out for the day. That's really good. Like I said, it's also great for anxiety. And then unless you got it slash, that's the best one. I have Breathe Easy, which is my respiratory blend. So for issues like asthma, emphysema, if you have a cold, or even with corona, with the COVID, it helps clear out. It's an expectorant. So everything that's in it is an expectorant. So it's supposed to make you cough and get all of that stuff, and it clears your lungs out. So then there is Lifted. Lifted is your focus blend, your meditation blend. It's great for your wake and bake because it gets you up. It's called Lifted. And then there is Mindfuck. Mindfuck is your lucid blend. So if you want to have lucid dreams and if you want to trip a little bit, that's what the Mindfuck. Now, my pride and joy, my absolute favorite one is Goddess, aka Bad Bitch. So Goddess is my aphrodisiac blend. Now, just because I say aka Bad Bitch and aphrodisiac blend doesn't mean that men can't use it as well, because the herbs are the herbs. It's just pretty. And so that's why I kind of promote it more towards women, because that's also my target audience. That's your aphrodisiac blend. So it makes you feel nice and flirty, but it has like a floral aroma and taste. That's why I market it more towards women. But yeah, so I offer those in pre-roll and in loose form. So pre-roll, you can get it, it'll either be like this or in a tube, or you can get it in a loose blend. So the loose blend, you can take it and roll it up yourself, put it in your bong or your bowl, or you can get like a tea infuser and steep it and drink it like a tea. And you can get that with or without the cannabis. And you can still get the same great health benefits.
So you got blends, you got treats, you got you said you got drinks too, right? or you working on a drink?
Well, with the blends, you can make into a tea. I am getting to the blends though. If I can get my hands on some water soluble THC, I'll definitely have some drinks coming soon too.
See, that's why you working. Yeah, and your daughter's still up, so you ain't gonna get no sleep.
Oh man, I'm team no sleep all the way. That is why I have a blend called Pass the Fuck Out.
Right.
2 hits it out of my bong, it is lights out.
Right. So I appreciate you coming on Piff Radio today, and make sure you DM me your Cash App. So
absolutely.
I want something. I'm about to get something right now, actually.
I will send you my complete menu.
Yeah, just don't send me that the one that make you trip out though. I don't want that. I don't want that one.
Mind fuck?
Yeah, I don't want that one. I'll take the PTFO and
Easy like a Sunday morning.
That one right there. And whatever the one that you
all my names are just so catchy. Like
yeah, those two.
I was high when I thought of all the names too. So I mean, I'm
those high
high.
names. Those are stuff that you say when you high too. For real. But yeah, I appreciate you though. And thank you. And I will see you, I guess, in the morning. Talk to you in the morning.
8 a.m.
8 a.m. regular time. All right, and I'll let you know when I drop this, because I'm gonna try to edit up the service stuff a little bit. But we good though. Yeah, we good. And I'll let you know.
All right.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Tell your daughter no Frozen songs tonight.
Holy hell, dude! Like
no Frozen songs tonight. All right, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
All right.